You'll see my keyboard, hold on. Hopefully that's the right bit. I need to put the keyboard on my lap. Yeah, a lot of people have said that they did it in school and things. I had a few people commenting on that, saying that they've done it in their school times, and yeah, just needed a reminder of it. It's probably like the riding a bike scenario where everything will come back to you, but I wanted to show you some tips for creating it. So I'm going to show you a basic square knot, which will do the basic part of the macrame, which is that bit there, and then you can macrame from a gem or something like that. Add little wings in like we've done there, but I'll talk about that in a moment. I'll do it on the just let me get this sorted. Have I got the right bits? Yeah, Christine, you've done it before and you've got the bead box. Yes, so if you've got the macrame bead box, this was one of the projects in there. So it's, yeah, it's well worth doing. But there is, I think, 4 macrame projects in the bead box that we had that was macrame as well. So, and we did give you a board on that occasion as well, because we just thought within the budget we had for the bead box, we thought, yeah, that will be really nice for you to have an actual board. It makes such a difference to it. So those of you that have done it and have or haven't got the board, yeah, get yourself a board. We do sell them separately. Get it attached down, and yeah, it will make such a difference. Oh, Tina, we've got a double newbie. So new to macrame, so I will show you this for jewellery making, but new to Facebook Lives as well. We do them on the Wednesday at 3:30, and then we put them on our YouTube channel as well. And we just try and do common techniques that are going to be really useful to you for your jewellery making and things. So square knot, macrame, always worth doing. I may carry on with this theme for a little bit as well. I'm going to dip to Christmas for the next couple of weeks, and then perhaps in the new year again I'll pick back up macrame, because there's a lot more to it. It'd be nice to work through some of the little bits, but I want to piece it down, keep it simple. If you're new to it, you need to just get that basic square knot under wraps. And if you're thinking household, it's the one that you can use for your plant pots. It's, well, one of the ones you can use to mix in there. So okay, right, let me just I'm just going to put the front screen up for a minute, because what I do is I sort of talk more formally just so it can go onto YouTube as well, and then I'll come back and answer any questions that have come up or that you want to ask me at the end. So I'll sort of talk all formally. I'll say bye to everybody, but then I will come back to Facebook. So let's get that sorted. Let me just get the timings there. Just give me a minute. Nearly there. Hello there to everybody joining us. I'm Donna from Riverside Beads, and today we are going to look at a macrame bracelet. So this technique is a traditional technique of knotting. We've been able to get ourselves this very handy board, which is a, let me turn it on the side so you can see it, which is a board with little slots in it, so you can use it to, I position my first cord in there, so you can see it's a nice handy size, perfect for bracelets, small necklaces, etc. So macrame has definitely been made easier, and for jewellery making this board makes such a difference. I also use it for some small home decor projects as well, and we do have some other macrame projects that you can use it for, so it's a very versatile tool to have in your jewellery making. What I've done so far is I've fastened down the lazy cord. We refer to it as a lazy cord. It's a cord with, I've stiffened the ends, ready to put any beads on that I want to put on, and I've fastened it down. Now this is a 1.5 macrame cord, so only certain beads will fit on a 1.5 macrame cord. So yeah, I've got a pearl there and the hole's just slightly too small. Yeah, I think that's too small to get that on. So I'm probably just going to do a little, I'm just thinking what I've got to hand to include in there. Probably got a super large hold one here. Got a few different ones. But what I was trying to show you is that once you've prepared your ends, if it's large enough, the hole to go on, you'll be able to get that through there. I'm nearly through with that one, to be honest. It's not far off, but if not, what you can do is change your lazy cord, which is this cord in the centre, for a thinner one. And often with our kits, we'll just put you a couple of meters of that in, just in case you have any sort of issues getting it onto certain beads. What you do is you prepare that, fasten that down onto your board there, so your lazy cord goes down and fastens to either end of the board. Then what we do is we cut a further piece about 3 times the length of your lazy cord. So if you go for the mini board, I can't remember the exact measurements on it, but something along the lines of, say, 12 inches on there, and then 3 times the length here. Now this doesn't, for this particular project, need the ends stiffening, but if you do one of our beaded edges or something, you may need to prepare that as well. So what I'm going to show you is a square knot. What I am going to suggest first is in one side of it, you put a little loose knot. So a loose knot there and attach like that. So I've pulled the knot, and then I've put this under that lazy cord. I've put the long piece of cord under the lazy cord, and I've put it in the centre of the long piece of the working cord there as well. That's that piece there. Now what I'm going to do is start the process. So I've got my knot in this side, remember, and I'm going to make a D with my right hand side. Then I take my left hand side. Now just for this first one only, what I suggest you do is just be careful about that middle, so you don't over pull it. So I've got over that cord there on the left. I'm going under the lazy cord and up through the D, all from that left hand side, under the lazy, up through the D, and pulling that. Now remember that I'm trying to keep this first one in that centre of that cord, and I'm pulling that tight there. Now just double check I'm pulling it towards me so I can check the length. That's where I get to on my 2 ends, so that's about right. I'm happy with that. I've left myself plenty as well, so it's not to worry. So get that secure. Now the side that you are knotting on alternates, and the way that I know which side I'm on is the side that I've put that little knot in the end of my cord. That's a reminder knot. We're going to create that backwards D on that side, and then we take the right hand cord, and I'm going right to the end of it, dropping it over that, under the lazy cord and up through the D, all from that side. So it goes over that cord. Now this one, don't worry, it's tied there, so we don't have to be quite as careful to get that right. I'm then on this side, and remember we know that because of our knot, make a D. This comes over that cord there, and from there under and up through the D, all from the same side. And then we repeat our backwards D. This one comes sort of over there. Remembering to get it from this side. Some people when I teach this tend to go over and forget which side they're on, but you're coming all from that same side, under, just slightly lift it if you need to, under and up through there. Like so. Nearly did the wrong side because of my handy little reminder knot. We know where we are on the D on the right side. So I go to the end, I tend to, and then I go under and up. That just helps me get it in the right place. There. Now this is a repeating process. Now I want to just get a couple more done so I can show you what we're creating. Now what you would do with this is carry on until you've got it, either if you just want it as a basic braid, you would just do it until it was the length you required, but there's also a back section that you need to do as well, which I'm hoping to just show you in a moment. So we would carry on with that alternate sides until we'd got it the right length. Now just in terms of placement, if we were making an actual bracelet, we wouldn't want to be right down here at the bottom. What we would want to do, and this whole mechanism will slide up, so if I grab hold of that, you can see I'm able to move it up. And if it was a bracelet, we would want it, and we would braid between there and say there for the amount, but I've just kept it down here so we can see it okay in the shot. So that's that. Now let me show you how this looks close up. Now that, can you see, nice and neat on the edge there, and then flat there. When I pull my knots, really, and that one probably before this one isn't quite as tight as I'd like it. I like it so you kind of can't see the white of the board really through the knotting. And then you just know you're not too tight, but you're not too loose either. And it gives you a nice consistent knot. And then strangely enough, having the lazy cord flat in the board as well, and tight, helps make that knotting a lot neater as well. So that is how you create the basic square knot. Now that is the basic principle of all your macrame knots. I'll do some other sessions with different styles of macrame as well. So you can see all the girls working in the background here. We're a busy working shop here at Riverside, and it's sort of ending up in the middle of the day. When I started these lives, because we do them live on Facebook at 3:30, it was sort of in lockdowns, or we were closing a bit earlier. So yeah, now the team are running around still. Probably hear packaging going on for everyone that does the mail orders with us as well. So that's the square knot, and you would carry that on. Now let me show you some different options of what you could create. This one here is a gem bracelet that I showed on the first picture, and you tie it to the centre there, and you knot from either side of that. So you knot from either side of the gem, and then you work on the back section as well, which I'll show you in a moment. Pick up some other examples. Okay, this one was bringing a bead in, so I will just show you this. Everyone's a busy old day today, isn't it, here at Riverside HQ? Building up to that Christmas period. And but this is a very versatile technique. Macrame is not just a Christmas. I was just pulling that off, so I've got a bead to show you how I got it on. But this is a bead encased within the macrame braiding. So you can see that there. Then what you do is you take that lazy cord from under out of the board, pop your bead on, and then you put that back in place just in that bottom. Now this is if you want to macrame around a bead, and then I'll show you the back section as well. Just bear with me. Okay, so I'm making a D on the right hand side around the bead, and then I'm going on one side under the lazy cord and up through the D, and I bring that in, and what that does is that just encases that bead around there. Then we do our left hand side, and then we go under the lazy cord and up through the D again, and then bring that together. We would just carry on then braiding on either side of that and bringing in beads as you wish them to. Let me just show you the back section. I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to borrow this piece of cord for the back section. Hadn't thought about a back section piece. Just bear with me. Right, there we go. So macrame is a really versatile technique, and I think it's early January I was planning to do a bit more with the macrame. Well worth having the macrame board. We also do a starter kit, so you get all of your my phone's ringing now, all of your instructions in it. Just bear with me, it's the dentist. The dentist needs me. Okay. And so yeah, I was saying about the board. So the board's well worth having. We do starter kits where you sort of get the board and then a kit to get started with your macrame. And also if you're one of our bead box members, we included this and 3 other projects for our members. Just trying to get a piece large enough to do this bit with, and then I'll show you how to do a back section. So Riverside Beads are a bead, and we're a craft shop with Riverside Crafts, and we're based in Market Deeping in Peterborough, but we do also have a fabulous online shop for beads and a developing one for crafts as well. So yeah, it's really good to sort of see our choice and be able to see a lot more of it online now. We're super pleased with how that's going. So do check us out. I'm taking this off the board now. Okay, so looks like a lot going on. There's a lot of ends, but normally you would have used up all of that cord for your braiding. So I'm just going to put that over to one side, because the bit I want to work on now is the lazy cord, so the bit that was pinned down on the board. So I'm taking both ends of that, and what I'm going to do is something along the lines of this. Go to the corner of the board, pop it under that board, and you're just looking to cross those 2 ends over. Now I shared a picture on our social media earlier about that, and it just showed how I fastened it in. But what you do is you bring it there, you find the point across the board where you position that in like so, and then bring that the other side. So it's opposites you're trying to do. And I did share a picture so you can have a look at that and see what that was all about. Try and get it so they're not crossed over if you can help it. Just bear with me, like so. So that's over the board there. Then what we do is take our next piece of cord that becomes our back section, and we remember what we did. I tend to tip this sideways like that, so I'm braiding towards me. It makes my life a bit easier. And I put that under there, and that very first knot we did, if you remember, we had to make sure we got it in the middle. Keep that nice and taut. And the good thing about the board is if you accidentally knock it out like I just had there, that's fine, we just tighten it up. So we go here, and it's all miniature knots, but remember what we did. So that first one, we're just making sure we don't over pull it to one side. So I've made a little mini D. Now don't worry that the cord's kinked, it's just because I borrowed it from an old piece. I picked an old piece back. And I'm doing exactly the same process. That needs to just stay in the middle, remember, just for that first one, particularly because you'll have a smaller amount of cord on this. I've got my knot in, so I remember which side I'm on. You can also start to tell by the side of the braid as well which side you're on, but it's really handy if you put your knot in. Like so. Carry on that right hand side again, under that lazy cord and up through the D. So then here you do as big or as little section as you need. So depending how big you've made your bracelet, how much you want, you can get away with 4 or 5 maybe as a minimum, or you could, I tend to leave it so I leave about an inch to do. So I leave about an inch of braiding at the back, but don't worry if you don't quite get your measurements right. Like this. So I'm doing all the same process. It's going over exactly as we did on the main knot, but it's all just miniature, tiny little D's over under both of those cords. We'll call them the lazy cords still, and up through the D, like so. And then this will be our section. Now, obviously, it's going to look a little messy because it's not a finished piece. I'll take that off of the board. A little bit fiddlier to get off the corner, but you'll get the idea. And then we've got this. So you've got all these extra. These would all be cut off and glued off. And then we would have our back section here, which would be our mechanism. So let me show you that in principle rather than the one that sort of needs all the finishing done. So this is one that we've done, and we've got our section here of the macrame. That's the main body of it with a little gem in the centre. And then we've got our back section, which is what I was just working on there. And I've done a good inch or so there. And then when you pull on these 2 beads here, that just sit and pulls it shut, and then you open it like that, and it's a sliding macrame mechanism for you to create that back section. Now the macrame bit itself is really useful for various cord projects anyway. You can just do a macrame back section even if it's just a regular corded project, or you can do your full bracelet as macrame like this one and just pull it to tighten it on yourself. It's a fabulous technique, macrame. Is really versatile and so many possibilities as well. So hopefully that's shown you a little introduction to it today. And look out for our future videos as well, where we'll be showing more of the macrame techniques. Wednesday at 3:30 is our live time, and then we upload it onto YouTube as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Facebook. There's a lot going on here today, isn't there? I might have to take these lives home again. It's just sort of trying to get out the shop at the time that the lives need doing. I saw somebody mention about the bead box. They are our little baby, really. They're our new thing that we've been doing. And yeah, we love creating them, and we're trying to launch new techniques each time we do them into the bead box. Brand new kits. This month's got to, I can't tell you what it is. We're in the reveal process of that. So for anyone that's not a member, it will be revealed on Sunday. It's always on the 5th at 11:30 for non-members. And then members get an exclusive tutorial at 10 o'clock in a private group. So you can learn. I'll go through a bit more about the techniques and everything. It's sort of like a private group that everybody just can ask their questions in. So I'm really pleased some of you have got your box, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me just share a link. Oh, no, not like that. Just share a link in here for anybody who is interested in Riverside Bead Box. I don't know if we've got stock of this macrame one left, but if we have, you can order it. And then it sounds like there might be a couple left from the voice of the mail orders has just Show me two fingers, politely, of course. There's Riverside bead box link for you. So yes, so we've got a couple left of the macrame box, and then we've got various of the macrame kits as well. So I'll try and find a link for macrame as well. If you haven't, I would strongly recommend getting a board. It just makes such a difference when I teach it and I use the board versus people. You can pin it on your leg. I will be honest, get a couple of safety pins, pin it on your leg. It just doesn't keep the tension. It's great for you know, if you've not got a board or you don't want to invest in a board, something like that, or just sellotaping it to the table. It just doesn't keep the tension like this does. There's a link to macrame kits. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Glad you got the explanation. Members tutorial is over in the bead box private group, and that is at 10 o'clock for the members one. So that will be showing you the techniques in more detail out of this. And then I do a reveal to non-members, which is more just showing what's in this month's box, and that is at 11:30 on the 5th as well. Vicky, you're going to look at purchasing the ones you've missed. Yeah, absolutely. While we've got stock of them, you are welcome to. Tina, it's we have had an offer on. Let's see if I can get you a link to that offer. Hold on, let's see. So it's £20 a month is the long and short of it, but we have an initial sign up of 3 months commitment, but we did have an offer. I found you a link. Tina, let me put this into you. Oh, there's a lot going on. Hold on, you're going to hear me talking in a minute. Tina, hopefully that will send you an exclusive link. Anyone's welcome to use it, not just Tina. So you can just sign up. You're on the 1st of December, which means you will get, it will actually be January's box. So anything after the end of the month gets the following month's box. So Tina, you can join any time. I don't know when that link won't work yet, but you can join any time through this month, and you'll get January's bead boxes, which we're going to send out hopefully between Christmas and New Year. Helen, I might have got confused. Hold on. Just on the members, it's on the 5th, which is Sunday. So I'm trying to stick to the 5th, regardless of what day it falls. So it's on the Sunday. It will be 10 o'clock in the members group, 11:30 for the reveal. So thank you. What's granddaughter's name? Hello, granddaughter, sitting on the bus watching me on the way home from school. Sue made my day the other day, really did. It made me a little bit emotional. Her granddaughter, she's always been into beading. I remember, Sue, we've talked about this before, haven't we? She loves her beading. And Sue said that she was on the school bus and she was watching jewellery making tutorials with me live, and I just love that. I was so grateful. It did choke me up a little bit. I think it's nice to, I think it was just that inspiring a new generation of beaders. And yeah, really touched me. So thank you. Hello, granddaughter. I would love to know your name. I'm sure I've been told Leah. Hello, Leah. And Leah's friend's probably on the bus as well, unless she's doing it with her earphones in. No worries, Tina. Yeah, I'm sure the link will still be there. Keep an eye out. It's well worth being. And also do it on a day you're going to get paid each month. So if you always get your money on the 7th, don't do it till after then, because it's a reoccurring £20 a month payment. So it will always come out on the same day. So do it on the day you can afford it. If you remember, Tina, it's before the 30th of December, basically, will get you January's box. And then once you remember, you can buy old boxes for £20 as well. And we sometimes do offers. Depends which ones we've got stock of. So yeah, do pop over. We've got the bell closures as well. So, okay, cool. I don't think I missed anything specific that was a question. And I will skirt off. Next week, I'm doing 2 more Christmas tutorials. Now, I know I've covered things like this in the past, but I'm doing Santa and Mrs. Claus next week. And there's an offer on the duo of those. Just a last minute kind of make if you want some little stocking fillers and things. So it's Santa and Mrs. Claus just specifically, so I can spend a bit more time on each of them, on the techniques. And then the week after, I'm going to do our Snowflake. I've done the poinsettia, which I know has been really popular, and I know some people can look at that and adjust the pattern themselves into the Snowflake and other coloured ones, but I'm going to do the Snowflake on its own so you can see how that one forms. I don't think I've done a tutorial on that before. I couldn't find one on YouTube anyway, so thought that might be quite nice. And that's Christmas done. So I think it is anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to do one on the 22nd because COVID permitting, Me and my family, I've got a couple of days, only in the UK, just a bit of a break. I'm trying to get a couple of days off. 29th I won't do one. I can't remember if we're open in the shop, but it'll probably be our first day back or something, so we need to get on top of bead box and everything. So I'll have a couple of weeks off from the weekly tutorials, but don't forget about us, and I'll be back on the 5th. And I'm going to do some more macrame, I think, on that day. There's so many techniques, and I like to piece them in little bits, especially for the YouTube videos. So it's nice to have little techniques rather than too much in one go. So I'm going to do macrame, at least that one more, maybe the one after that as well. I'll just see. I want to do a twisted one, which is a similar process, but I want to show you that. So I'll do that from January. So thank you so much. Those of you, I know a lot of you are regulars and you are lovely Beadbox members, and I really appreciate you always supporting us with what we do. But if you're not and you don't receive our newsletters and you want to, don't forget, sign up to that. I send one out to tell you what I'm doing in the Wednesday morning, so you know what's live. And then we send one out with any offers or updates. Need to send Christmas hours out to everybody and things. So do keep up to date with us on that. Okay, fab. Thanks everybody. Take care of yourselves. I need to find that off button again. It's goes strange on these systems. I've got it. Fab. Take care everybody and stay safe, and see you soon. Bye bye.